Now can I hear my voice? We're gonna find out. Alright, we are live. Do I have that audio though? Oh, I hear something. Oh, yep, I can hear. Alright, cool. Let's send test stream to the boys. Alright, we are live. Do I have that audio? Okay. Let's get to some action then. Alright, so I've been working on my VGC 2017 team. Mostly right now it is an extension of my battle tree team that I was using for super doubles. That team actually consisted of Mimikyu and Alolan Persian with Mudsdale, and I actually was using a Mega Alakazam on that team as well, but Mega Pokemon, obviously Mega Evolution, is not allowed in VGC 17, so I've been adjusting. Arcanine was the first adjustment that I made for Intimidate support, partnered with my Parting Shot, since I usually lead with Alolan Persian. So he was in addition to that. I just recently decided to put Morning Sun over Protect. I might still take that back, and I haven't actually filled out this EV spread right because I did not have my notebook when I was building him. My notebook had the particular calcs that I wanted in it, and I could not remember them. And Tapu Fini, I'm not totally sold on this Tapu Fini yet. This is just totally a shot in the dark. I'm just going to test it out and see how it goes. I was going to use Gastrodon. I know Gastrodon is very popular right now, but I am not so sure how I feel about it since it lost its access to Earth Power. I would basically just be using it as bulk, and I already have like 3 bulky Pokemon here. That is really the strategy of this team, is to try and set up with Mimikyu, then provide support with Persian, and then switch it out to something bulky that can take hits, and then continue on from there. It is kind of one-dimensional at this point, so I'm kind of looking for something I could put in maybe as a pivot. Maybe something else that would service as a lead in my 6th slot. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do for that, though, so I'm thinking about it still. Possible that another Tapu could work, maybe a more offensive Tapu. I do have an Assault Vest set on this Tapu Fini with all damaging moves, obviously. See how that goes. I know Tapu Fini's damage is pretty good, and it's relatively bulky as well. I've invested heavily into HP on, well, actually pretty much all of these Pokemon. Let me just grab my notebook really quick so I can fill out these EVs on Arcanine, and then we'll see about that 6th slot. Okay, found the notebook. It does have the specific spread that I wanted, but it does not include the calcs, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing with those. I don't remember the reasons for this distribution. For now, I'm just going to plug it in and play with it, and then based on performance, I'll likely make some adjustments. My number lock's not on. Like most of the other Pokemon in this team, it's a very bulky investment. Just a couple points in special attack, which these speed EVs were just some speed creep. That's actually not what I wanted. I needed 60 speed. That makes a little more sense. 12 special defense. Honestly, I cannot remember what these were for at all. It was what nature? It was bold nature, if I remember right. Yeah, bold. Give me that bold Arcanine. And I did give Arcanine the Rocky Helmet because he's going to be switching into a lot of hits. I think this meta is fairly physically offensive. And that can be seen by, just like half the Pokemon on my team, at least, are physical attackers. If you really count Persian. Persian does make contact with Fake Out and Foul Play, but definitely not an offensive Pokemon in the least. I think it's fairly obvious if you look at the EVs on these Pokemon that I didn't run any calcs on Mimikyu or Persian. That is just as they stand in my game right now. I have not put the effort into changing them just yet. So they kind of just stand at their base amounts here, investing into 2 stats and then putting the extra stats just basically anywhere else. So that 4th slot, that 6th slot, I am still not exactly sure what I'm doing with it. Alright, I'm going to look at something real quick. Okay, so for that 6th slot, as far as typing goes, I know I'm missing a substantial amount of coverage. I put Grass Knot on this Tapu Fini. That might be like absolutely stupid. I also considered Hidden Power Grass. It didn't look too strong in damage calcs. I could consider giving that a second look, but if what I could really use is another special attacker. Arcanine does not really fill that role all that great. Really, it's just there for support and just try to nuke things with overheat. Tapu Fini. I could oh no, do I want to sell my soul to Celesteela? That is the question. Celesteela is just everywhere, and I hate it. I feel like it would fit relatively well in this team, though. It would provide some decent coverage, and it would also be pretty substantial bulk. The thing is, most of the Pokemon I want to use are also physical attackers, so that's kind of a rough situation to be in. Like, I don't want to switch any of these out because I really like them all except for Tapu Fini. But I don't really know what to put in that last slot. I'm thinking maybe right now I'll just try to run with this 5 here. See what happens. Oh, wow, that's really... There we go. How about now? Oh, this is not the format I wanted. That's why. There we go. Okay. I can probably switch that back now. Don't want Gen 7 anything goes. What is that nonsense? Okay. Well, it'll run right now. Let's just go ahead and see what happens. I actually should probably go ahead and reset my VGC 17 ranking here so I can get some accurate numbers. I did play several games with the really, really crappy first team I put together. I'd rather just erase that from my record, pretend it never happened. Then I can get an accurate read on the strength of this one. Yeah, I've got I've got very, very bad ratings here. I need to log in the browser to edit this. And of course, my browser is running hecka slow. Let's go. Let's go. I just want to play some Pokemon. I honestly don't know why some of the things are not, like, you're not able to do them in the actual Pokemon Showdown client that you download. It seems kind of silly to me to have it, but then like still make you go into your browser for certain things. But I'm not going to complain because it's a really great tool. I really enjoy it. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Let me log in. So slow. Okay, VGC 2017. Let's reset that. Yeah, I was 1-9 with that old team. If that tells you absolutely anything. So go away. Okay, so that's gone. Now I can start over. My elo for some other stuff is relatively decent. Okay, so now that's done. Let's go ahead and go. I feel like battling will make it more apparent what coverage my team is lacking. I know that I'm going to get absolutely stomped by several of the major meta things. So let's see. This, I'm not exactly sure what to expect out of this lead, to be honest. Alolan Muck is like pretty awesome right now. Luckily, I've got Mudsdale to give some sort of an answer for that. I'm probably just going to lead Mimikyu Persian. And then I actually think I'm just going to stick with Arcanine Mudsdale for now. Keep my bulky lineup going. Especially since Tapu Fini would be relatively threatened against that team anyway. So it looks like he leads Slowking and Hariyama. So, as I said before, this team is fairly simple. I'm just going to try to set up with this Mimikyu as much as possible. So this Hariyama could be trying to get a Guts boost with a Flame Orb or something. I'm not sure exactly what Slowking will do. I might try to set up. Persian will be faster than anything, so I can really just try to do whatever I want. I am going to try and... well, the most Hariyama can do right now is like fake out my Persian, I think. So I'm just going to go ahead and fake out Slowking to see if it might have been trying to set up, which is something I wouldn't exactly want. So I'm going to go ahead and fake it out. I'll do a little bit of damage. He fakes out my Persian, which does nothing, and I get my Swords Dance for free. Slowking accomplishes nothing, and okay, Hariyama does go for that Flame Orb. So this is where things will get a little bit interesting. I'm not exactly sure who the biggest threat will be, to be honest. I think I'm going to try and knock out that Hariyama. I could go for the Play Rough. It does have a bit of a reduced accuracy. I think I might just go for a Shadow Claw and double into it with my Foul Play. So I think this should be able to pick up the KO. Oh, it does not pick up the KO. That's really unfortunate. Persian is going to go down. That really sucks. And that was a total mistake on my part. And the Trick Room goes up. So in this case, I'm going to want to bring in Mudsdale. Mudsdale performs better in Trick Room than the rest of my team. So I'm just going to throw him in there. I'm going to Shadow Sneak that Hariyama to try and get that knockout. And I think I'm actually going to go for a Protect with Mudsdale. He will be threatened. That Slowking is probably running Scald. I'm not going to want to get hit by a Scald on turn 1. Trick Room teams, of course, incredibly popular right now. So many Pokemon in Sun and Moon benefit from having that speed reversal because it's really a very slow meta in general. And the few Pokemon that aren't slow are incredibly fast. There's really no middle ground. So, goes for a feint, but that does nothing because I am a ghost. And he tried to heal, so that was a totally free turn for me. Um, the one problem I just realized is that Mudsdale and Arcanine are both weak to water. And look at that. Slowking is a water type. So that's definitely a problem. That's something I overlooked. I'm going to write down, start making a list of coverage things that I'm missing. So I got a weakness to water. And that's a Magnezone. Magnezone, probably running Flash Cannon. Mimikyu is not going to be liking that too much. He does have 2 forms of safety for himself, though. Let's see. Slowking, he's got Trick Room and Heal Pulse. That's not something I've really heard of before. That combination on that particular Pokemon. It's not really going to be worth for me to switch into Arcanine either because these are both special attacking Pokemon. I could try to go for... Heavy Slam wouldn't do that much damage either, neither would Close Combat into that Slowking. So I might just try to get damage off onto Magnezone with a Close Combat. Yeah, that is the Scald I was looking for. But I actually do take a lot... I don't actually do that badly in that situation. He doubled into Mudsdale. Okay, that's very interesting. So I trade that one. It's now 2 and 2. So, and with... getting an Intimidate off on that Muck is so good for me. And I should be able to get... I'm going to go for a Burn on it straight away also. So, yeah, this is actually looking really good for me. He can try to go for a knockoff on my Mimikyu, which would take away my Focus Sash. So that would be bad, but if I trade my Focus Sash for burning him, then I think that's actually a really good trade for me. At this point, I do not know if my Shadow Sneak would be able to knock out that Magnezone. And if he doubles into me, that actually could be pretty bad. I think it's better for me to just try to go for the Shadow Sneak and knock it out and go for a Will-O-Wisp onto Muck. Muck goes for the Protect. My Shadow Sneak does knock out Magnezone, so that's really solid. He protects himself, of course. Trick Room, there should only be 1 turn of that left. I cannot stall it out because I do not have Protect on my Mimikyu. Or on my Arcanine. So, best I can really do is just keep going for damage. I am going to try to Will-O-Wisp it just to be safe. He goes for a Poison Jab on Arcanine instead of going for a knockoff on Mimikyu, so I wonder if it's even carrying knockoff. I feel like you definitely should be carrying knockoff on your Alolan Muck, but I am obviously not the definitive expert on that. I'm going to go ahead and just go for an Overheat. I don't need to save my stats for anything anymore, and after this turn, I can just have Arcanine go for a Morning Sun if I need to. There goes my Disguise. This should be able to pick it up. Okay, Figgy Berry heals a lot of HP, and my Overheat actually doesn't really do that much. So, really, this is just attrition, though. Like, I will win eventually. I'm going to go for Morning Sun just to be safe. I'm not trying to BM. I just want to go for the sure thing. Taking his time, going for the Shadow Sneak. And he actually does no damage with that burn, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'll heal up. Burn should take him out, I think. Alright, so that's GG in Game 1. That actually went surprisingly well. So aside from discovering that a lot of my team is really weak to water, which actually that is kind of pushing me in the direction that maybe I should use Gastrodon instead. Then I would have something that would be a safe switch into water attacks, which I have a weakness to. It will also give me a special attack boost on Gastrodon, and that Storm Drain ability. And I honestly think that even without Earth Power, getting that boost on Gastrodon's other coverage moves would be pretty good. So that's definitely something to consider looking forward. I'm going to answer some text real quick. And... I've been given a lot of things to do and a lot of texts all at once from my fiance about the wedding, which is in less than 2 weeks. Let's see. Gotta find a number in my phone. Alright, that's one thing done. Gotta add. Jump on Facebook real quick. Too many windows open. Okay. Okay, gotta invite some people to this event real quick. There's one. There's one. There's one. That's covered. There we go. Okay, I think that's everything. Okay, my obligations are completed. Alright, my stream health is not looking very solid. Bad, video output low. Experiencing that buffering. That was 2 minutes ago. Okay. Well, fingers crossed it gets better. Yeah, unfortunately there's not a whole lot I can do because I'm streaming on a pretty crappy machine right now. So yeah, it's kind of best I can do is cross my fingers and hope for the best. Okay, so in review, that game, I feel like he had some very unusual choices and moves on his team, especially the heel pull Slow King. I'm not entirely sure what influenced that decision. Let's see, what kind of stuff did he have on that? Magnezone did have Flash Cannon. I don't know, like, especially like using the Fainting to mimic you, I thought was really strange. Hello, cat. You're right in my face. So yeah, just some kind of strange stuff going on. Interesting team. Let's see. I'm still trying to think of what Pokemon could fill that last slot. I still feel like I really need grass coverage, but I don't know exactly what I could use. I know that guy had an Alolan Executor, but I don't know if Alolan Executor is a physical or special Pokemon. Okay, let's see. Check out that Cerebi. Okay, let's see. Is it a Leaf Stone evolution? Okay. Executor Island. Okay, let's see here all. Looks like mostly learning the physical moves. Where are your stats at, baby? Okay. So really, it's really mixed. Also fairly bulky, so that's good. A little higher special attack than attack, so pretty solid. And speed is garbage, but a lot of teams will be running Trick Room anyway, so it might function. Not sure what item I would put on it just yet. Dragon Hammer. Uses its body like a hammer to attack the target and inflict damage. What a move. That's something right there. It looks mixed. I don't know. The The special options are not great. It's mostly physical, which is not really that great for me. I mean, it could do. It's got solar beam. I need sun for that. It can learn flamethrower, which is decent. Sludge bomb. It's got a pretty good pool. It just doesn't learn a lot by level up. Okay, interesting, interesting. And it can actually learn Trick Room itself. It could function as a Trick Room setter, strangely enough. Learn Swagger. Ooh, Energy Ball. That's actually quite a good grass move. That's good stab. Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb, Flamethrower, Psychic, Protect, Light Screen. Yeah, I mean, this is actually quite a manageable move pool. This is something I could definitely consider. Wouldn't be as bulky as the others. Has quite a lot of weaknesses, especially since it gets that dragon typing. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, 4 times to ice, poison, flying, bug, dragon, fairy. That's a lot of freaking weaknesses. Not too sure if I want to use that. I don't know. Grass is a pretty terrible defensive type anyway. So, looking for a bulky grass type to fit into this team could be a little bit difficult. Anyway, for now, I'll just keep that in the back of the head there. Go on to the next one. See what we can find. What do you got, buddy? Araquanid, Starmie, Salamence, Nihilego, Mandibuzz, Tapu Koko. So I imagine that's going to be a Tapu Koko lead. Tapu Koko is quite a popular lead, which kind of tells me that maybe I don't want to lead Mimikyu Persian. Mimikyu is not really going to have a lot of opportunity to set up. Let's see. Feeny would be my best option against Mince and also Nihilego and probably also Mandibuzz. So I feel like I'm going to need Tapu Fini. I might lead Mudsdale Tapu Fini actually. Or maybe I'll lead Tapu Fini Persian to try and get some free stuff right off the bat. And then, well, that double water makes it hard to use a lot of the rest of my bulky types. Arcanine and Mudsdale are both going to be feeling the heat here, and Araquanid gives him a really safe switch in to from my Arcanine. So Mimikyu still might be a better option, even if I don't lead it. Hard to switch in. Let's see. I guess I'll go ahead and go with Mudsdale for a safe switch in from Tapu Koko. And I can use Arcanine for the Intimidate at least. This is a very difficult team for me to pick into, actually. So, a really well-constructed team on his part. Gets his Intimidate off, but that's not too big of a deal. Misty Surge protecting everybody from status. I'm not entirely sure. The Salamence might be running Protect. It might just Protect on this turn, or it might even go for a Z move. I really have no idea what to expect. I'm just gonna Ice Beam into it, and I think I'll actually go for. I'm just gonna go for my Fake Out on Araquanid. We'll see what happens. I think Tapu Fini should be able to survive whatever Mince throws at it, especially since Mince is more of a special attacker now, and I do have him wearing the Assault Vest. So. And I'm looking at 222 base defense. Well, not base defense, but 222 special defense on my Tapu Fini. So that's, I mean, incredibly bulky. Persian, obviously more physically defensive. and the mental orb not going to be helping against any moves, especially not a Z move. But he might have also just led that for the Intimidate and switched into something else now, which could be a problem. I'm not too worried about it, honestly. Whatever he switches in, I mean, it will take substantial damage from this Tapu Fini. So, I mean, his safest switches would be obviously Starmie. Really Starmie and Araquanid, but Araquanid's already on the field. So if he switched into Starmie, then that's a problem. But that heavy of an investment into water typing, I think that would be strange if you're not running a rain team, but I don't know what that Starmie is running, what kind of set it has. That's not really something I've seen a lot of so far in 2017. Actually, same thing with Mandibuzz. Those are two interesting options. I don't really expect to see either of them terribly often. I don't know if Mandibuzz gets access to Tailwind. If it did, that'd be pretty interesting, actually. Especially since I think it's more of a bulky flying type, which you don't see a whole lot of. If this game runs out of timer, I'm actually going to be pretty disappointed. I do like the gains. Oh, there he goes. Okay, so he does switch into Starmie. My Fake Out goes into Araquanid. That thing's going to take that Ice Beam pretty easily. So, yeah, not too much going on there. Starmie is not very heavy. I might be able to kind of surprise it with a Grass Knot. And I'm not entirely sure what kind of moves they're going to be throwing at my Persian. I don't really want to take it out because both of my others are weak to water. So I'm just going to go for a foul play into I'm going to double into Starmie. Araquanid, I mean, when that thing lunges me, it's gonna hurt. But let's see if I can... Okay, Persian took that hit relatively well. Grass Knot does not pick up the kill on Starmie. Are you kidding me? Okay, so that blows. But yeah, I mean, this could be a lot worse, honestly. I don't have a lot to throw into that Araquanid. Dazzling Gleam, I'll be able to knock out Starmie first with a foul play. So if it takes full damage from a Dazzling Gleam, it could be decent. It's interesting that thing is running Entrainment, giving Starmie the Water Bubble instead of Natural Cure. I mean, yeah, it gives some bonus damage to its water type moves, but I don't know. I find it very, very odd. Oh, is that a physical Salamence? That was a bad switch on his part, unfortunately. Wait. Okay, he forfeited. Yeah, that was an unfortunate switch for him, right into my Dazzling Gleam. Also, that must have been a physical Salamence, because even after getting intimidated, like, wowza, that did damage. Oh, he didn't forfeit, actually. Oh, he did forfeit. Never mind. Okay, so plus 36. Decent. Let's see. Okay, so I didn't learn a whole lot from that one, other than what I already knew about my general weakness to water. And even in a double water team there, it didn't come back to bite me just yet. But then again, he didn't really have a whole lot of chances to attack. And when he did... actually, no, he really didn't at all. His Starmie used Dazzling Gleam, and that's the only damage I took the entire match. So I don't have a whole lot to go with off of that one. But I do keep coming back to this water weakness, and that's something that's going to bite me, especially when the other team is running Pelipper Tapu Fini, which is likely going to be their lead. It's also... Oh no. Oh no, this is an Extreme Evo Boost team with that Friend Guard. So that's bad. That's not a good thing. And I do not want to start with my Tapu Fini because I want to be able to burn whatever that EV switches out to. It's going to Baton Path to something, It's likely going to be the Tapu Fini. That's what who was I was just watching last night in Dallas. A player was running an Extreme Evo Boost team. So yeah, that's very interesting. I'm going to lead with Persian for sure. I could either try to set up my own Mimikyu and just try to interrupt his Extreme Evo Boost as much as possible. I think that might be my best option, honestly. Then I'll also bring Mudsdale, and I think I'll go ahead and bring... I wonder what that Gengar is running. Probably Cursed Body. Mudsdale should deal with it relatively well. Mimikyu can do it also, so can Persian. So I think I might run... I'll bring Arcanine. So I'll have my Intimidate. I love Intimidate. That Incineroar should not be able to have Intimidate yet, I don't think. I'm not positive. Yeah, it is the Friend Guard Evo Boost lead. So that Clefairy is going to be running Follow Me. Which, I mean, yeah, it sucks. But let's see. I'm going to go ahead and taunt the Clefairy to prevent its next turn movement. It won't be able to get off a second Follow Me after this. So I can't stop the Extreme Evo Boost because of the Follow Me taking priority. Oh, it actually used Protect. That's very interesting. I did not expect that at all. And Eevee using Yawn, so maybe this is not an Evo Boost team. I'm going to have to go ahead and Parting Shot the Eevee to prevent falling asleep. And I can't hit Eevee with my Ghost coverage here. Okay, boy. Okay, I'm actually going to go for a second Sword Stance. There we go. Give me that bonus. Give me that Parting Shot. And I'm going to switch out into... I'm going to go to Mudsdale. Mudsdale fares pretty well against both of these Pokemon. So that was actually a really interesting first turn adaptation that he did there. That was really smart on his part, to be honest. I really like that. I'm going to Heavy Slam the Clefairy. Try to knock it out. Man, Mimikyu is kind of in a rough spot right now. I do have a lot of damage behind me. I can't hit Eevee either way. I'm just going to try to double into that Clefairy and knock it out. Eevee's going to Baton Pass into something. I'm not entirely sure what. It could be... Gengar wouldn't be that great of a target. It would still be awfully squishy. It could be Tapu Fini. That's my guess. That would also protect it from getting burned, which is my other strategy for dealing with it. So, I mean, it's got to be Tapu Fini. No, it's Incineroar. Okay. So I double into Clefairy. Clefairy goes down. So I am up one, but he's got an Extreme Evo boosted Incineroar, which is pretty bad. That is going to be a physical attacker. I could switch into Arcanine and try to do something with that. Since he ran Extreme Evo Boost onto his Incineroar, I sincerely doubt he's going to toss in Pelipper and set up Rain. He could still use Tapu Fini to prevent me statusing that Incineroar. That would be a pretty smart option on his part. I guess he could just send Eevee back in, but I don't know what Eevee would accomplish. Okay, so he must have some other supportive moves. I guess I will find out what those are. I'm actually just going to use my Tectonic Rage into this Incineroar. And I'm going to... I'll play Rough It too. I'm feeling risky. I really hope I don't miss with a 9 out of 10 chance. Doubling into this thing, if it protects, obviously that blows. My Tectonic Rage will go through the protect, but it won't do as much damage, especially with a double defense boosted Incineroar. But my options are pretty slim right now. I don't want to switch Mimikyu out because I double Sword Stanced it. So Darkest Lariat breaks my disguise. I play Rough. That takes half. I actually should be able to take this thing down right now. So there goes my Tectonic Rage, and Incineroar goes down. So his Extreme Mover Boost is gone. And and that was the entire strategy his team was based around. So I haven't even taken any damage yet. I got a 2-0 lead. I think I should be incredibly safe here. I'm going to switch Mudsteel out into Persian. That should give me pretty good resistance against anything Gengar has to throw at me. And since I'm double Sword Stance, I'm going to just go ahead and Shadow Sneak this Gengar. I'll have first move pretty much no matter what. I mean, if that thing also has Shadow Sneak, I won't. He has to be running Sash, which he is. Yep, which he is. Energy Ball is my Persian. I'm okay. Getting yawned. So that thing, I don't think it has any attacking moves at all. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and taunt it. Persian will fall asleep for that, but that's honestly fine with me. Gengar, I guess it can run whatever it wants into me. Mimikyu still has its Focus Sash, so he's feeling all right. I should be able to get the knockout onto Gengar for sure. Persian will fall asleep. I don't think he'll be able to trade anything with me. So, let's see. Eevee protects. Gengar Sludge Bombs on Mimikyu. He's fine. Shadow Claw goes into Gengar. He goes down. So all the damage threat's gone. He does protect, so I don't get to taunt him. Persian falls asleep. That's whatever. So Persian's just going to stay in for now. There's not a whole lot of reason for me to take it out. Eevee can yawn onto my Mimikyu, which I'm surprised he didn't do before. It would have been a lot better for him to status Mimikyu than Persian. But, okay, he forfeits. So, yeah, that went surprisingly well for me considering that he got his setup off for free. Because Extreme Evo Boost, I mean, really, unless you have something like specifically in your team that is able to counter Extreme Evo Boost, it's very difficult to do anything about it. But that went very, very well for me. It's unfortunate he didn't protect on his Incineroar. I also think Incineroar is kind of an iffy choice to use Extreme Evo Boost onto, but I mean, he knows the team better than I do, obviously. He plays with it. He built it. I don't know what the strategy is, what moveset that Incineroar was running, or anything like that. But, okay. That went pretty well. And I didn't really have any more glaring weaknesses show up in that game that I wasn't aware of. My water problem didn't even come up. It could have, but he wasn't running his Rain team. He was running his Extreme Evo Boost team. Which really, that's what it kind of looks like, a swing team that can run either in Extreme Evo Boost or in Rain. But on the Rain side, I'm not really sure how the Incineroar would function. I guess he could just use his Dark typing instead of his Fire, but that's beside the point, I guess. I've been thinking in the back of my head this whole time about this 6th member of my team, and I'm still just not coming up with anything. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Thinking. Because I don't think... Sun and Moon Pokedex, that's what I'm looking for. Has to be something obtainable in Sun and Moon. I could, well, let's see. Kartana's physical. So that's kind of out. Katana is right out. Let's see. Okay. I'll just take a quick look through here, see if anything catches my fancy. I mean, it's not going to hurt me to just throw something in, and I can take it out later if I want to. Let's see. Decidueye. Not a big fan of Decidueye. Cat's going nuts over in the living room. Let's see. Elegant, Whimsicott. None of those really fit into this niche, especially since I need more damage. Leafeon is iffy also. Lurantis is more of a physical attacker. I don't really care much for it either. Shinotic. Well, Shinotic. That's. I don't know. I don't think it does that much damage. Is the problem. Same thing with Parasect. They would fill relatively similar roles that I don't really need. Zarina. This stupid page keeps buffering and bumping my stuff around. Physical. Trevenant doesn't really do much for me either. A lot of ice and water types in this gen. Delmise is interesting, but again, physical. Executor might be a serviceable option, at least to try out. This Tapu Bulu doesn't really help me either, neither does Kartana, so the obvious options have kind of been exhausted. Let's go ahead and look into this. Our egg friend here. I have no idea what item to give him at this point. I'll just go ahead and keep Frisk on it for now. That's kind of an interesting idea. Not something I've ever utilized before. I don't want that Leaf Storm. Where's my energy ball? There we go. We can use that. I'm not going to use Dragon Hammer. For obvious reasons, I want to run special. I could go ahead and run Draco Meteor. I could actually run a Z move on my Executor if I wanted. That could be interesting. I'm not sure what kind of damage he'd be doing, but I mean, you know, why not try it? I'll put Draco Meteor on for now. I might come back to that here in a second. Extra Sensory gives chance to flinch. I think I want Psychic instead. Yeah, give me that Psychic. Although he doesn't get stab on Psychic anymore, so I could consider getting rid of it, honestly. There's something else I was looking at before. Let's see, I've got both my stab moves here. Psychic. I might consider taking off the Psychic for, I don't know. Flamethrower's not really a fantastic option. It'd be more of a coverage option for like Celesteela's. Hidden Power Electric would be kind of in the same boat. Sludge Bomb would be... I honestly could probably use a Sludge Bomb. I don't really have any counter... Well, if I was going to rely on a Alolan Executor to be my Tapu counter, that'd be pretty sad because he is weak to Fairy. So, I don't think I'm going to be able to put anything on him. He's going to be slower than all the Tapus, too. So, he's not going to function well into Tapus. Mudsdale fills that role slightly better. Mimikyu just does straight damage. Okay, so yeah, what I'm seeing here is I don't have a lot of good answers to Tapus. So that's another thing to write down. No good Tapu counters. I think I'd probably want to just slap Protect on this bad boy. The Psychic, I'm still not absolutely positive about. I think it's probably... Let's see. In this meta, is Psychic coverage more valuable than other kinds? I'm not... that's a really hard question, actually. And another hard question, which Z move do I want to run on this guy? I probably want to run Devastating Drake. Take the Dragonium Z for now. I'm gonna keep his Frisk. I think that's. I could scout with it. That's kind of cool. And Harvest just doesn't seem all that useful in every situation. I mean, it's like a chance you could get your berry back, but I don't think he's gonna survive enough hits for that to really matter. Unless I gave him like a resistance berry, I could give him like whatever berry gives resistance to fairy or ice. Ice would be a good one. But for now, we'll just leave him like this. I'm not going to run any calcs. I'm just going to slap some shit in here. Max out his special attack. His speed is just going to be straight garbage no matter what. Give him his HP. Well, maybe I won't max HP. I'd have to run calcs, and I don't really want to run calcs on stream. I'll just give him a little bit of special defense. I realize that this is a really shitty distribution. Like, I'm fully aware. But we're just trying some crazy stuff out here. Special attack. Minus attack. Give him modest. Modest Alolan Executor. Okay, so I'm aware that this is probably garbage. Like, that's fine. That's totally fine. All right, let's just run it. I might not even get like a reason to use it right away, so just back out of here. It'll at least make people think when they're looking at it in that team preview. They're gonna be like, "What the heck's he doing with that thing?" Okay, so this is what I've been worried about right here. Is this Celesteela? Celesteela is pretty bad news for me. I don't really have a lot of ways to counter it. I don't even have a toxic, which is something I should consider. First, I just need to throw in a Celesteela counter of some sort. Hey, this guy's being nice. So yeah, Celesteela, not much to do about that. I might actually lead Arcanine because of double ice. Get some fairy resistance going. Not sure what that Golem will be running. I'll have to include Mudsdale for Golem and Electivire. And Mudsdale would also do fairly well into a couple others like Mimikyu. Celesteela is really the problem here. So I'm going to lead Arcanine. I might need to try and nuke something. I have a feeling he's going to lead with his double ice and get that Slush Rush going. So I don't know if I outspeed Ninetales with Persian, but I'm going to try. I'll bring Mudsdale. And who's going to do better into this Celesteela? Not a lot, that's for sure. I could just try to go for a Scald on it, maybe. I might just bring Tapu Fini. It can at least resist some of that ice crap. He actually... Okay, well these names are something right now. Not sure how I feel about those. Don't look. Faint of heart, look away. I think I am going to go for... I don't know if he's going to suicide lead with that thing or what. Or if he's going to try to go for some ground coverage here. I will be faster than that thing, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to try to Will-O-Wisp the Golem. And then as far as the old Persian here... If I can if he does go for a ground type, like an Earthquake, which I think is what he's planning with that Electivire on a balloon, I'm gonna fake out the Electivire to try and pop the balloon and see if I can get him to damage himself. Like, this is he's got a very unique combination going on here, and I'm not entirely sure what to do about it. So I'm just gonna go for some fun cheese, and we're gonna see what happens. He actually goes for Explosion, Motor Drive. Okay, so it did a lot of damage. It was an Explosion lead, like I thought it would be. Okay, so that Electivire is pretty crippled right now, but he has done very significant damage to two very bulky Pokemon. So I should have switched, honestly, and now he's going to set up his Ice. I might actually just kind of Hail Mary here, try to go for an Overheat onto that Ninetales. I'm not sure if I'm going to, or I could go for a Morning Sun and see what he does. Um, it's going to try to set up a Roar Veil, which I'm going to try to prevent with Persian with a Taunt. Or he could just go for 100% Blizzard. Persian should still be able to move first. I'll be able to scout that. Worst case, I lose Persian. Best case, okay, I resist both stab types from that Ninetales Arcanine does, so I'm just going to go for a Morning Sun, try to heal back up, and try to keep him alive. And I'm going to go for a Taunt on this Ninetales. Rock Slide does go off. Am I going to get flinched? Please no flinch. Wow, that blows. Okay, so that's really bad. Um, and what I've got in the back is not fantastic. Tapu Fini is not going to be feeling that Electivire. I have now prevented status, but the hail is still going. So I'm going to scout with protect. I think that thing's just gonna blizzard again, but you know, let's see. Tapu Fini, you don't have a lot you can do, my friend. Uh, you know what? I'm just gonna Z move that Electivire and try to kill it. Try to keep Tapu Fini going. I'm not going to do great damage, I think, with my... Dazzling Gleam is probably my best option here. I'll just go for some spread. Rock Slide. Miss. Tapu Fini, please no flinch. Freeze Dry. Doesn't hurt too bad. Please no flinch. Dazzling Gleam. Okay, that does decent damage. I'll be able to knock out Electivire with my Tectonic Rage, so that's good. No more Rock Slides. Thank you. So the Freeze Dry is interesting. Mimikyu is also interesting. I either have to double into it now, and it's probably got a Focus Sash, so I don't know if I'll be able to get enough turns to even knock it out. And my close combat's not gonna... I can't hit it. I can't hit Mimikyu with it, and it's not gonna do that much damage to Ninetales. I might just protect that one. I'm probably gonna get Freeze Dried again. I don't know why he didn't go for Blizzard last turn, honestly. I'm just going to go for another Dazzling Gleam with my Tapu Fini. I can't get flinched, and I think I'll probably survive that Blizzard. Yeah, I'll survive the Blizzard pretty easily. Mimikyu goes first. Mimikyu holding Woodhammer, that really stinks. Yeah, so this is pretty much game. They've got double stab on me right now. So we're just going to go... Alright, good game to him. Yeah, that was a really good first couple turns on his part. I really lost hard by falling for that suicide lead. I should have predicted that explosion. I totally had forgotten that Electivire has motor drive, so I thought if he went for an explosion, he'd be damaging himself, but that is not the case. So, yeah, that was just unfortunate mistake on my part. That sucks a little bit. But you know what? You can't win them all. I went 3-1 so far. I think I'll go ahead and go for one more, and I'll call it a night. I will definitely be better than breaking even. So, oh, this guy again. So yeah, I recognize him. If I remember right, last time I did my main 4. I could do something different this time. But I'm... Do I want to try for my setup lead this time? Mimikyu. The good news is I can knock out several things on his team with a boosted Mimikyu. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go for it. When it comes to Arcanine or Mudsdale, or both, it's the same problem with the Slowking this time as it was last time. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with Arcanine Mudsdale. And he's leading the same thing also. So that Slowking is just going to set up Trick Room, which I don't necessarily want, but Well, actually, since he's probably the only thing his Hariyama can really realistically do is fake out my Persian. I'm gonna. The thing is, does he remember me like I remember him? That's the question. Because I'm just gonna go for the same thing and see what happens. All right, he does protect. So my fake out goes into that protect. I get my sword stance. Hariyama is going for close combat on Persian, but it doesn't die, so that's good. He does get his burn, so he gets his guts boost. But he doesn't have his Trick Room set up, so Mimikyu should be able to one-hit KO that thing. I am going to go ahead and parting shot the Hariyama. Oh, he feints me, knocks me out. That's fine. I'm going to hopefully trade that. Oh, he's got Focus Sash, so he's going to get his Trick Room. So, yeah, that sucks, but it's whatever, I guess. I'm going to bring in my Arcanine, because Slowking is not going to be surviving turn 1 of this game. I'm just going to Shadow Sneak that thing. And he's already burnt, so there's not a whole lot that Arcanine can do right now. I think... Actually... Well, yeah, I do want to knock out that thing before it can move. Otherwise, I would go for something else. I don't really need to save my overheat, I don't think. I don't think he's going to go for a switch. But I'm not positive. He might go for a switch. I honestly don't have anything better to do than Will-O-Wisp that slot and see if he switches. So, okay, he switched the other slot. So I did not predict that correctly. Oh, wait, but I get the knockout, so the Will-O-Wisp will go on to Muck. So that's awesome. That actually was an unintentionally amazing prediction. I should not have gotten that lucky, but I did. So Mimikyu is kind of in a rough spot here because he doesn't get any decent stab on either of these two. I don't want to give up my Sword Stance boost, so I'm just going to try and go for as much damage as I can. So I'm just going to double up Magnezone and try to get that knockout. It will go before me in Trick Room. Gets the knockoff, takes my Rocky Helmet off, but he takes the damage. Hidden Power, must be Hidden Power water or something? I'm not entirely sure. Get my Shadow Claw off. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Brings Muck down to about health. That'll trigger the Figgy Berry. So now he has to bring in his Slowking again. Oh, it's Hariyama. Slowking died. That's right. Hariyama, they're both burned, which is bad news for them. They're both slower than me, which is bad news for me. So, the good news is Mimikyu actually can get stab on Hariyama. I might actually bring in... The thing is, Hariyama now... Hariyama lost all the stat drops he got from the Parting Shot and from the Intimidate. So he does have his Guts boost. He's actually doing more damage with that burn than he was before. I might have to... Switching into Mudstale might be a sacrifice, but I think I'm going to have to go for it. Shadow Sneak breaks my disguise. Okay, so I'm good. Knockoff does not actually finish me. So that's interesting. Hariyama should go down for that. So that's the biggest threat gone. Hariyama was the problem. I'm not afraid of Muck at all anymore. He's burned. He's useless. So I can just go for... Well, if I want to be able to hit him before I die, I need to go for a Shadow Sneak. And then I can go for my Tectonic Rage, and that should be game for him. He Shadow Sneaks me, but I somehow survived. So Tectonic Rage picks up that KO. GG, my friend. So that's, 4-1 for tonight? That's pretty solid, especially for a team that's, I know, is not that good. That was, yeah, I'm really satisfied. I got a few things written down I need to work on. I've got a weakness to water, so I think I might switch switch a Gastrodon in instead of Tapu Fini. I think that would help solve that problem quite a bit. And I need to start thinking about what I can do to counter Tapus and Celesteela. Because they're very popular right now. I don't have any decent answers for them on my team. Luckily, I didn't really have to deal with it tonight. But it will be a problem in the future when I start facing a lot of better players. So I'll be looking into both of those things. For now, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. It's just about time for me to head to bed. So anyone that was watching, thank you so much for watching. hit me up anytime you want to battle or anytime you want to talk about the meta. I'm very new to VGC, but I'm very interested in learning. So anyone that knows more, definitely help me out. Any